Greetings and salutations. I'm running solo today, and my wife decided to give me a little bit of time to myself. Plus, I got up at the crack of dark 30 to get ready, and when I left at 8 o'clock, they were still all tucked up in their beds, snoozing away like they usually do. But anyway, I'm at an old abandoned ghost town in southern Nevada, a place called Delamar. And this is the first building you'd see. If you came up here, this is the first building that you'd see. This is the only road that comes into the old town. And I suspect that this is probably like a guard shack or something. But this is an old stone building. The roof is long gone. How green the grass is here. You got stovepipe. Another chimney. How short the doorways are, huh? But this is a gold mining town back in the day, back in the late 1800s. Gold was discovered here. And during its heyday, this was the place to be. About 3,000 people lived here. And it had a proper town. We'll go check it out in a minute. On the way up, it passed the graveyard. We'll stop there on the way back, and then right across the way from the graveyard, there's another mine with an ore chute. We'll go check that out too. But right now, I'm gonna head up this road and go take a look at the town. Come on. Yes. I got a feeling this is gonna be a good explore. But up there is the main mine. There's mines all over the hills over here, but this is the main one. I think they called that Hog's Den or something like that. But there's some stone foundations up there. Let's see if I can. Might not be going up there, but there's foundations all over. There's stone walls all over the place out here. I believe this right down here is the main drag, the business district. But right over this hill here is the site of the mine. I apologize for the wind noise. I'm going to have to get myself a proper microphone here soon. That tailings pile, waste rock, whatever that is down there, looks nothing like that on Google Earth. I was shocked when I came here and saw that. There's a couple of, you see the waste material here, and this is probably contaminated, it's probably really contaminated, but this is the site of the mill. Oh, look, there's an old car. That's something. That's not period. But I think when we go over there, we can drive all the way down here. But I'm going to go over there on Main Street, the main business district, and check that out. Put my drone up in the air, I think. What do you think? I think that's a grand idea. 6,000 feet, just about 6,000 feet. It's a beautiful day. It's probably 80 degrees. Unlike last weekend, it was a little bit rainy and cold and overcast. Today's very clear. You can see all the way across the Delamar Valley, all the way to Texas Lake, a dry lake bed over there. Maybe I'll see a rattlesnake today. I hope not. Anyway. A couple houses up here. Let's check them out. thick the walls are. Roughly, probably pretty close to 20 inches. And they would have been plastered on the inside. Probably would have been pretty cool in the summertime with all that thermal mass. Of course, it would warm up and heat you all night long too. What is this? Guess this make and model. I want to say Cadillac. Oh, there's a few buildings up here. So it's the end of April 2020, and I would imagine that a place like this would see some visitors in the springtime on the weekend. But I'm going to go on a limb here and say that the amount of people I've seen out here in the wilderness is abnormally high. So it's 14 miles from the main road to here on a pretty good dirt road. That first part of the dirt road, I was going 70 miles an hour. The second half I had to slow down a little bit because there's a lot of whoops. And so I was slowed down to about 45, 50 miles an hour. And then when you come up and get up into the hills here, you gotta slow way down because it's this kind of rock. But I passed two campers on the main road, on the first part of the road, big fifth wheel campers, and I passed two of those, and then I passed an F-150 that probably is, that side by side up there is probably from the campers. I passed an F-150 pickup truck just as I came in. I passed another vehicle when I came in. This vehicle just came by, and I see another side by side down there. And if you look on Google Earth where Delamar is, it's in the middle of freaking nowhere. It is beautiful up here. Check this out here. Oh, look, there's another car coming in. So you got a whole row of probably dorms for mine workers, little row houses, all made out of stone. This one had a roof on it till recently. A wash pan. Look at that. There's more up on the hill. Good, you? Good. Okay, we're a little further down the road and uphill from Main Street. I came across what appears to be the remains of the original mill that was on this site. There's the waste pile. Go check some of that out. An old stone building up there. The reason I say this is a mill site is because, you know, mills of the era used gravity. So there's a waste rock pile right there, and there was probably remains of a ore bin up there. There's some more stone foundations up yonder, and they used gravity to process the ore. So the ore would go into the ore bin, and then would go into a crusher, and then it would go into a stamp mill, and then it would go into leach basins and whatnot. And finally, well, here's a leach basin right here in front of me. Or maybe just be a basement. What's this over here? But I'm fairly confident this is a mill site. Let's see if we can find anything. It's a weird building. I'm impressed with the stonework. You know, this is pretty far off the beaten path, and even more so back in late 1800s. So they used as much as the material that they had available to them. Hey, lizard. What lizard is that? Anyway, so this is all native rock, and it's fitted pretty good. I mean, they had crushers and everything. They could reduce that rock into gravels, right? Make concrete and such. Gaggle of them. Oh, there was a basement down here. Multi-levels. There you go. 1877. Jasper was here in 1917. Oh, that's just unnecessary. 76. Man, this place is booming. Oh, basement. This is neat. Social distancing. Social distancing. You guys aren't social distancing. Okay. Look at all these people. Holy came out here to be alone. This wash is full of stone buildings. It ends up down here on Main Street. So that's where we just came from. That's the tailings pile over by the original mill. I call the original mill. This is the newer mill, I believe. And that's Main Street. I'd like to find, I'm going to see if I can find a map of the structures that were on Main Street, because there's some pretty good sized buildings there. Of course, this town had what most towns have, you know, probably saloons. More than likely a brothel or two. They also had an opera house and what else did they have? You know, mercantile, all that kind of stuff that a town of the era would have. Well, I drove up to the end of this road here, and I'm perched on top of this hill. Apologize for the wind noise again. There's another stone building. Surprise! Look at the views. This place is just packed with people, man. It is Saturday, but whole family's hanging out. You know, once I got up to that mill site over there, a whole family showed up, and they're eating lunch up there right now. And I mentioned to one of them, I said, have you ever seen so many people in the desert at one time? And apparently, one of the guys there, he's regular out here. He goes, the last time I was out here, there wasn't anybody here. Oh, the breeze is picking up. Well, let's get over and check out the mill site. don't know if that's a like a vault for bars or whatever. It's pretty stout. I saw something pretty neat over here I want to point out. So all these timbers here probably came from, well, it came from someplace other than here, because trees that big don't grow here. So all this stuff had to be trucked in. But check this out. This is, yeah, remember, this is from the early 1900s. And I want to show you this joint. This is called a scarf joint. Now, traditionally, they would not be bolted together, but because this is a mill and there's probably a 20 stamp mill mounted on this someplace, they probably opted to bolt everything together so it didn't shake itself apart. But typically, so you have a cut here, right, and then you have a gap, and it steps up, and a cut here and a notch, and this fits together here, and then they drive wedges in here to force the two into this bevel. If you notice, it's not a 90-degree cut, so these are forced together and wedged against each other, and then traditionally they'll drill them where these are, and they'll drive hardwood pins into the hole, and the hardwood pin would swell up inside the bents. These are called bents, and lock them together. These are pretty rotten timbers. Looks like somebody burned them. There's 4 side-by-sides going down that mountain. Man, this had to be a hell of an operation back in the day. That's all waste rock. And then there's another pile of it all the way down there. And when we leave, I'll get a shot from over there on that hill and just show you how deep that canyon is. That's Delamar. And Delamar is, if I haven't mentioned it already, it's about 15-ish miles from Caliente, Nevada. And I've been wanting to come out to this site for a long time. And you know, usually when we go exploring, we head south into California towards the Mojave Preserve or Death Valley, but California is being a little bit tyrannical with closures. And Nevada is too, but pretty much anything that's federal is going to be closed. Although the Mojave Preserve is still open, I think. Last time I checked it was. But even still, I've never seen so many people out in the desert on a weekend in a very, very long time. Look at all these side-by-sides over here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And 11 side-by-sides. No way. I'm gonna break a hip. Let's head down to the cemetery. Get a shot of that on the way out. That waste rock pile. Likely a burro, or maybe a wild horse. It's still the desert, man. All side by sides, and the mill site's right over there. And here's that waste pile. How tall that thing is. Can't even see the bottom of it. Let's go. Ouch. Oh, don't drive off the mountain, dummy.